All right, welcome everyone to the CNM Ingenuity Small Business and Startups Resource Info Session. So my name is Dan Heron. I'm a Senior Program Manager for the organization. And you'll hear from a couple of my colleagues about some of the amazing things that we're doing that you can tap into and probably don't even have to pay for to help your business flourish and thrive here in New Mexico. And it won't go forward. All right, so I'll kick us off with a quick introduction about CNM Ingenuity and the unit that we work for. And then we'll talk about a funding option, a really wonderful funding option called Job Training Albuquerque with Allison. And then at the end, we'll wrap it all up with our highlighted program, the Hyperspace Challenge. All right. And if you ever want to try to find these links, I'll send an email out to all the participants with this URL, but it's all on our website at cnmingenuity.org. What is CNM Ingenuity? Well, you've probably heard of CNM, the community college, and it's a 4-credit, traditional community college. They specialize in 2-year degrees and certificates, have a wonderful established curriculum. They have campuses as well as online programming. Right now is really popular. CNM Ingenuity is kind of like, I like to call it as the special ops unit. We do not for credit, and we do a lot of experimental models for education, including fast track boot camps, membership-based programming. And so our curriculum and the things that we do is that we're constantly iterating and trying to experiment with what works best for students. So they're both part of CNM, but one's a little bit more standard traditional educational unit, and one's a little bit more experimental. At the Ingenuity side of the house, we have areas, everything from healthcare to business. We have really world-renowned technology training programs. I work, and Allison and Roxanne work predominantly in kind of the entrepreneur space with different programs, online education, coaching. So we've got a little bit of everything that a small business could probably use. Some of the names you might have heard around town or have not heard are things like Fuse Makerspace, AVQID, Activate NM. We also have a very large movie and production component. So if you need office space, we could, or you need to film a movie, we have space solutions and props. And so we just get all the little bits and pieces that don't quite fit into a traditional academic unit. We manage all that. So it's really cool organization to come to us with your challenges for your company, and we can try to figure out ways that our different units can help you out. So you might be asking, all right, well, you guys sound cool. How does it work? It's really 2 ways that you can work with us. One is through customized training, and that's basically we sit down, talk to you about what your needs are. We figure out how many employees do you need to train, or do you just need to train yourself? We put together a contract. We can do customized curriculum, work with you on that. But our most popular way is the open enrollment. And so that's, the standardized schedule that we put together on an ongoing basis that you can, sign up for. There's due dates, registration due dates, applications. And so you can be part of that. So our most popular, for example, is like the deep dive coding programs. You want to learn a technology, or you want your employees to learn a new technology, but you don't need anything custom. You can just put them through one of those boot camps. Of course, funding is super important for small businesses. And so we have a variety of partnerships that is constantly growing. So you can check out all those different options. They're constantly updating and changing on the /funding page. Now, I know this session is about small business and startups, and we're going to talk a lot about small business and startups, but I do want to mention that we do work with very large companies and organizations as well, everyone from Facebook to local government. And one of the featured programs today, you're going to hear from Roxanne. She has a wonderful partnership with the Air Force Research Labs, so you can kind of get an idea of the different sizes of organizations that we work with. I work predominantly with the small businesses and the startups through our Activate program. And you can see some of these companies that have gone through some of our entrepreneurship or continuing in our incubator programs and those sorts of things. So again, we put this info session together because sometimes it's a little bit challenging to understand what this powerhouse Ingenuity does, because we do a lot of different things. And so we'll have more Q&A, but let's get to probably what some of you guys are really interested in is that money. So I'm going to pass it off to Allison, and you just let me know. Do you want to? Well, actually, you
I
just
was
want to
going to
tell me to
ask
click,
you if
or
you could. Do you mind advancing the slides?
no, no problem.
I hamstrung myself by deciding to do this on my phone instead of my computer, and so I realized that was going to make it more challenging. But anyway, hopefully everyone can hear me okay.
Yep, we can hear you good to go. So Allison, take us away.
Thanks everyone. Thanks, Dan. So hi, I'm Allison. I am a program manager here with CNM Ingenuity, and one of the programs that I help with is our partnership with the city around something called Job Training Albuquerque. Go ahead and advance to the next slide. Or JTA, we just call it JTA. JTA is a partnership with the city, CNM and CNMI, and it's seeking to build sustainable job growth here in Albuquerque, working with small businesses and small organizations. We provide, CNMI provides high quality, college level, high demand skills and training at no cost, no hard costs. We don't use the word free too much because we know that your time is not free, and we do require the time of your employees to participate in the training, but there are no hard costs for the organization. And through these trainings, which I'll go into detail on in a bit, you can give your employees college credit. They can earn an industry certification in some ways as well. It is the goal of the program. The city's goal is to help Albuquerque's economy grow one business and one job at a time. And this is sustainable, skilled workforce is the goal. Thank you. Who's eligible? So participating companies or organizations, I feel like I need to say in organizations as well, have to be incorporated as a for-profit or nonprofit in New Mexico and headquartered in Albuquerque. We're using the SBA indication for what a small business is, and that's less than 500 employees. I realize that's actually most organizations in Albuquerque. So the businesses has to have been located in Albuquerque for a year, and we do work with startups, so this is important. The business owner has to have been an Albuquerque resident for at least a year. So that's the restriction there. And then this is really important too. For most programs, and we can talk through it if you have a special circumstance you want to run by us, but for most programs, the trainee must be a full-time employee or at least 32 hours a week. Now, let's talk about some requirements or what we ask of the organizations that are interested in participating. They need to be willing and able to commit to that goal that we've set of increasing their workforce by at least one employee over the next 2 years, which is doesn't sound like a super lofty goal, but we're looking for organizations to build their capacity basically and build and add to the skilled workforce here in Albuquerque. They need to be willing to send a new or an employee that they're bringing on to a training that's scheduled at a time, and they're willing to set aside that time. So we're asking that they not ask that the employee attend this training in addition to their work, but during work hours. The other requirement for the organization or the business is that they participate in some ongoing program measurement. We want to know how effective this program is. The city wants to know how effective this program is. And so we're going to be asking them to do a pre-survey, a survey 6 months after they complete the training, and again after that as well, because we want to know long-term how effective the program has been. And this is some of the data that we collected is private. We do not share it. It's all just reported in the aggregate. Next slide. So you're interested in participating. What do you do? The company or the organization that's interested can apply, or the individual in some cases, if it's a startup, can apply to JTA. We receive that application, and usually we'll have a phone conversation with that individual to kind of talk through their idea, what they're looking for, what trainings they're interested in or training that they're interested in. And then assuming that it's a good idea and it's a good fit to move forward, they'll be accepted into the program. They'll register their employee into the training that they've selected, and they'll complete the pre-training survey. The individual or individuals who participate in the training will fill out a registration for that training as well and complete the training. Then it's sounds like it's all these different steps. It's really like 4 steps, but anyway, and then the company completes post surveys as well. So that's the process. Now let's talk a little bit about the programs that are currently included in the suite of trainings that are covered through JTA. So these will be free trainings if you are accepted into the program. These are ones accepting applications currently. Right now, their registration is open and applications are being accepted, and these are starting in the spring. The IT Pro series is if your organization or your business is looking to build your IT capacity. It's a series of classes that you can take to do that. And looks like the application is due March 8th. So you have some time to think about that. But if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. I should say also that I can help answer some general questions, and I'm happy to, but we also have some awesome experts, many of whom are even on this meeting right now. If they're not, I can connect you with them, who are our specific program experts for each of these different trainings that I'll refer to. So if, we're happy to help you really delve in if you have some deep questions about the different programs and what's involved. We also, as you can see, and you'll see it on this one too, this is fine, estimated time that the employees will spend on this program. We feel like that's really important to share because we want to be really upfront with the time commitment that we're asking you to, as the owner or the manager, to commit your employee to, and the time that we're asking your employee to commit to it as well. This next one is a training on improving your sales, presentation, and branding, which is really important for building capacity in a lot of different organizations. And the application, this is new. I think this is maybe the first time we're offering it to JTA, or is it the second? It's the first time. The application deadline for that is February. And it's a really great new program that we developed in consultation with Vertanza, which is a group that's just a dynamo and a expert in the field of sales. So next training. Oh, this is a good one too. Accounting for non-financial managers. So this is if you're looking for somebody to gain some accounting skills. You're not looking for somebody to become a CPA, but they need to have the basics of accounting principles and fundamentals. This is a great class. And this is coming up this spring as well. Let's see. Next. This is also new to JTA, user experience and user interface. And on this one, I'm going to consult my notes because I am not a tech person. So I had no idea what this meant when I first saw this. So the UX applies to anything that can be experienced like a website. And this class is about the interaction between the user and the product or service and the design elements that shape that experience. And the UI is the point between the user and the device that makes it unique. So that is a quick thank you.
Claps and snaps as a developer. I appreciate that. That was good.
Excellent. I was like, I don't know what this is, and I need to know what this is. So I did a little research. But anyway, it's a really great program. If that's something that could help build capacity with your organization or your business, please take a deep look into this and consider sending your employee to that. And then this is also new to Ingenuity and new to JTA. We have a suite of 3 classes that make up a project management skills series, including fundamentals, budget and resource management, and project management applications. This is a really hot topic right now, very popular and very important for organizations. If your employee does participate in this, it's something that can help them become certified and as a certified associate project manager, which is a certification that's very hot right now. So be thinking about that as well. And the deadline to apply for that is January 8th. I do want to include this, even though right now we don't have applications accepted for this. But it's a really great program that Dan could tell you all about if you have any more questions. But it's a 6-course digital marketing series. We're in the middle of a cohort right now with 8 JTA participants, I think, if I have that correct. And they have maybe just completed the first one or the first 2. The first 2. And it's going very well. It's super exciting digital marketing series. So keep an eye out for this because we will be offering a new cohort when it starts. We'll announce that on our website, or even better yet, join our listserv if you haven't already. If you don't already receive the JTA emails, please let us know, because we do want to let you know when new programs come out. These are 2 new programs that we're hoping to offer in the near future: a Salesforce administrator program, which is could be hugely helpful for any organization wanting to use Salesforce. And then an operations management program also. We're looking to offer those as well. So if you didn't see something on this list, but you have training needs, let us know. This is a link to a survey, a jobtrainingabq.org survey, that you can suggest to us training needs that you have, that you want us to add to our suite of JTA services. So, or maybe we just haven't thought to offer it yet through JTA. So that could be even a really quick fix. So please do reach out. That is an anonymous survey. So if you don't want to be anonymous and you just want to ask us or suggest something, next slide, here's my contact information. Do that. So just email me or call me or reach out through the jobtrainingabq.org contact form on our website, and let us know what we can do to help your organization, because we have a lot of trainings, a lot that are already available, but more that could be. So we have the money from the city. We want to put it to good use and help your organization build your capacity. So that is all I have. I couldn't see any chat, so thanks. If anyone has any questions, please feel free. I'm sticking around. I want to hear about Hyperspace.
So quick question, Allison.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I know that's one of the first times you've done a presentation, but there's like a lot. Those are just like coming up newer things, right? You have a lot of like other programs as well, right?
We do. I think that most of them were covered. I'm trying to think if there are other JTA offerings that we've had in the past. They would be listed on our website. So definitely go to our website and take a look. I think most of them are already scheduled for the spring or have been listed as coming up.
Okay, great. Yeah, really take advantage of that. You know, the city's really trying to promote economic relief and support through additional training. So this is one of the programs that they're doing. So lots of great opportunities from that funding partner. So thank you so much, Allison, for the JTA update. Now, we're going to go to outer space, because just to show you how crazy you can get at CNM Ingenuity, you can start off with a training program, and the next thing you know, participate in a hyperspace challenge. Roxanne, good morning or good afternoon. What is time and space, right? You know, go ahead and unmute yourself when you get a second.
All right, thanks for the reminder. I can master space, but I cannot master Zoom. All right, so hi everyone, I'm Roxanne Aragon. I'm the program director for the Hyperspace Challenge. As Dan mentioned, we are a partnership, there we go. We're funded by what is now the U.S. Space Force in partnership with local, the AFRL, which is the Air Force Research Laboratories, which is located across the U.S. But we in New Mexico are lucky enough to have one of the research labs located here, focusing specifically on space vehicles. So we are a national program. We support both startup and university teams, and we share the goal of both helping startups and universities understand the priorities of the government in space, and then helping the US government better connect with startups and universities to solve the challenges that they face. So we are now entering our 3rd year. I'm just going to give you a little taste of what we do. I'm always happy to share more. But here's why we exist. We exist because space is hard. It's hard to be a startup. It's hard to work in the government, and it's hard to be a small business trying to work with the government. Space as a domain is really difficult. Obviously, once you send something up there, it's really hard to fix. So a lot of things going on that makes space particularly difficult, especially in a time when our nation is competing with other countries for who will be kind of leading in the space domain, and also at a time when we are still building a commercial ecosystem for the space industry. And so the US government realizes that startups need support to be able to build in a way that will help the US industry at large grow more quickly. So I'm gonna, that's a pun. I'm gonna play a really quick 2-minute video for you that'll show you a little bit more about the companies that we work with and what we do in our program. Oh, and I probably need to stop this really quick and reshare it to optimize for video. So just a moment, I forgot to do that. All right.
We're all trying to take humanity to the next step, to go to the moon, to Mars, and beyond.
The Hyperspace Challenge has been excellent at bringing us all into the same room and saying, hey, we're all trying to solve these same problems. Let's have conversations.
The Hyperspace Challenge began as we, the Air Force, realized that there's a lot of innovation happening out there in the new space world.
It's a program that really enables the quick transfer of technology between the commercial sector and the government. So we're really excited to see these partnerships happen in real time.
And it's been refreshing and encouraging to have this new sort of relationship that could only really happen at the Hyperspace Challenge.
Over the last 24 hours, what we've learned is that there are also a number of new finance vehicles and contracting options that we can take advantage of.
We are really driving connections between defense and government end users and connect them to these early stage startup companies that have some technology that can be used for those problems.
I am very grateful to the Hyperspace Challenge for giving us the opportunity to sit face to face with potential customers and learn from them directly.
The dialogue process is a very important part in getting them to understand what we can achieve.
I think a government contract would be a signal for us that, you know, we're onto something. We're helping to solve a key problem for humanity, and they're taking a stake in it.
Well, I'm really excited to see us find new ways to innovate acquisitions. I want to see us working more with the universities and creating mutual understanding of what the needs are for the future of technology.
The companies they brought together are very impressive. This crowd here inspires us.
This is really exciting. I love the energy of this event. It's very productive to be here and to learn firsthand.
What I found surprising is the willingness of the Air Force, in particular, to work with small companies, startup companies like ours.
This hyperspace environment we're in now is giving us a clear path forward, and that's been a very important discovery for us.
I think the most surprising aspect of the Hyperspace Challenge so far is how warm and welcoming all the teams are to each other.
Getting to know other people in the industry, I think it's been really valuable for us.
And it's just been a really neat environment to kind of teach and learn and work with each other.
It's just amazing watching how the Air Force has catalyzed the space industry with small businesses and where it's going to go. It's going to propel America forward.
All right, and sorry, I'm switching this back so I can see you all again. So a little bit about how we do what we do with the Hyperspace Challenge, is, before we get into the how, I guess a little bit more of the what. So we've worked with 24 companies over the past 2 years. 16 of them have gotten into a new contract with the federal government within a year, not just with the Air Force, but we also coordinate with NASA, Navy, Army, the intelligence communities as well. One company has announced an expansion to Albuquerque as a result of the program. And then we've just seen several successes, like I mentioned, announcements of testing new prototypes with NASA, landing new government contracts. And so that's really what we aim to do, is each year we help companies learn the ins and outs of working with the government so they can win oftentimes what's their first government contract. And so this year, We have a different theme every year. So in the past, we've worked with companies in the geospatial data domain, in the small satellite and hardware domains. And this year we're looking at trusted autonomy, which is a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Oops, webinars and applications are not now open. Sorry about that, but we are actually in the process. So we have down selected, we are working with 13 companies and 2 universities. We're really excited this year. We've had the strongest turnout of New Mexican companies and participants that we've ever had. We think this is because of the theme this year. We have some really strong machine learning companies here in New Mexico. And so RS21, Perspective Components, and Ideas Tech are all local Albuquerque companies that are participating this year. What they do is first we find customers within the government who are interested in working with startups. And then we let those government customers talk about the problems they have so we can go find what we call non-traditional companies or companies that haven't worked with the government before who might be able to take a stab at solving some of those problems. So those companies apply versus through a very competitive application process. We select. Normally, obviously, like you saw in the video, we would host everyone in person in New Mexico, but this year we're fully virtual. And we hope you'll consider joining us on December 3rd when the companies will be presenting and we'll be announcing the winners of this year's cohort, even though the real winners happen over the next few months as folks start winning those government contracts. And how New Mexicans can participate, like I said, this cohort is currently in session, but in the late spring, we'll be announcing next year's cohort. So we plan to continue each year. So we're always looking for companies locally and nationally that might have an interest in New Mexico. We also bring in these companies and introduce them to the New Mexico ecosystem. So for entrepreneurs, there's lots of opportunities to network as well. And if you want information, we have hyperspacechallenge.com/mailing list so that you can stay updated with any of those announcements. And of course, to see who the winners are on December 3rd. And I'll stop there.
You like my virtual background? I made it for you, Roxanne, for the Hyperspace Challenge.
Yours is mine.
Thank you. So it's a great example of like how Ingenuity has, a job training for small businesses under 500, and then you have this very innovative space challenge program. When you say you'd like to, Roxanne, when you say you'd like to try to get more New Mexicans involved, maybe how can small businesses get involved? Maybe they're not necessarily space startups, or they've never even thought about that industry. Is there a way to stay engaged?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's our mailing list. So our core function is this program, but something that's really happening alongside this program being built out is, it's happening alongside a growing space industry in New Mexico. And so another resource that I would recommend is New Space New Mexico, which is the industry association for space here in Albuquerque. And they have they have monthly casual meetings where you can learn more. They've really gotten going the last couple of years. And so they have regular programming that's dedicated to the industry. So that's a fantastic place to plug in locally. And we work really closely with them as well. And it's growing quickly, and there's a lot of federal money involved. There's a lot of interesting things happening. So in the same way that we see lots of opportunities for small businesses coming out of, opportunities at the labs, the Air Force Research Labs is another one of those labs that I would, is sometimes forgotten, but I would encourage entrepreneurs to think about because they are really interested, and there's a pot of money that is dedicated nationally to small businesses, and the Air Force and their Tech Engagement Office, which is here in Albuquerque, which is going to be reopening here shortly at a new location. The Tech Engagement Office is a great resource as well for kind of trying to understand how, what opportunities there are for, entrepreneurs of any capacity. They do so much more beyond space, but obviously it takes a whole ecosystem and infrastructure to make it work.
So it sounds like you've got a nice network and community in this Hyperspace challenge that if you'll find your path as you go, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, that's the fun that, when it's an emerging industry, there's lots of opportunities. So I definitely encourage folks to take a look.
When's that Virgin Galactic flight? Isn't that this month? They're going to send somebody up from the Spaceport of America?
They keep moving the goalposts on that one, but I think they did just announce that it should be happening shortly. We'll see.
All right. New Mexico's on the space race map. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Allison and Roxanne, for giving us an understanding of some of those programs. The rest of the time is up for questions and answers, or we could just kind of talk about your guys' businesses, where you're at, what you're looking for, and we can try our best I can try my best. And if Allison and Roxanne, you're able to stay, I know you guys are pretty busy, try to point you in the right direction, whether it be one of our programs or, as like Roxanne was saying, something in the wider community. So maybe we'll kick off with Tanya. Are you there? The almighty mute button. There it is.
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Hey, what's your business? What you working on?
So I'm actually a life coach. So I was just curious, and and I actually used to work for CNM. So so I was just curious to kind of expand my knowledge and understanding of a potential, how to kind of get into contracting with the government and things like that. And so when I saw this, I thought, okay, this is a good opportunity to learn and to see and to connect and to network. So, and I'm relatively new, in terms of having my own business. So
what kind of obviously life coaching is about people's lives, but do you have like a niche or a segment or anything like that?
So I'm developing that, but my heart and my passion is really working with women that really are dealing with fear that's making them stop. So maybe they want to go back to school. Maybe it's time to transition. They want to switch jobs or what have you. So really helping them in that area to push past that, so that they can take action and really move forward and really go live fulfill the desires that they have. So I'm very passionate about it.
Very cool. What is the modalities that you currently offer? Is it hour-long consultation? Are they events? Are they webinars?
So right now I have a wind-up program. It's a mentoring program, and it's a really kind of a entry level, and it's all done through Zoom. And so I basically work with them once a month. I do like an empowerment session, and then I do a monthly video and kind of encouragement video that goes along with it. Then I do have different packages where they can work with me for like 3 months or 6 months. I really, working at CNM, I got really introduced to strengths, and I absolutely love strengths. And so that's something that I'm wanting to get certified in even more in that. So really looking at their strengths and how they can leverage those strengths to really pursue and do the things that they want to do. Does that make a little bit of sense?
Transformation, baby. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly it. I'm all about let's transform. Let's take action. Let's go through the coaching process so that you can transform and really be who you are desired to be and to live that abundant life.
Allison, I know we have a really robust coaching program. Are you in charge of that? Who's in charge of that? I know we were just talking about it. Boom.
I am. Are you familiar with our coaching program?
I am. I have taken the financial coaching. I actually, before things got whatever, I know there's been a lot of change. I was on the path to be kind of one of the trainers for it.
Oh, wonderful. Well, that's it is not one that we have currently included in our suite of JTA services yet, but it is one that we're talking about now. And so my ears percolated when you were talking about this, because while that might be a training you might need, maybe you want to grow your business, maybe you need to add a coach, maybe you need to have somebody go through a coach training, and something like, having coach be a part of the JTA program, for example, could be a benefit to you and your business, right?
Absolutely.
Because that would help you add a coach. We do currently still offer our financial coach trainings in the fall and in the spring.
I saw
on
that,
a
yeah.
open enrollment basis. And we also have just rolled out our certification. So
I saw that as well.
Yeah. So if anyone's looking to become a certified CNM certified financial coach, we can, they go through the training and then there's some steps that you can take to become certified. So that's something that I'd be happy to talk more to you maybe offline about.
Absolutely.
But I think that would be something. And then also because of the certification, we're kind of ramping up some additional CEU courses that we'll be offering. So there may be some more one-off things that you can either help us with or participate in. So maybe reach out to me if you would, so that we can be connected. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Love
Yeah.
Love it.
I love it.
Let's go. Let's make sure we give Mark a moment. Mark, how are you doing? Good to see you.
Thank you. Yes, I do not own a business or anything. I'm the new workforce development liaison with the city of Albuquerque.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's how I recognize your name.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Mark, for joining.
We're so excited to always be supporting JTA and all of CNMI's programming here at the city. And new just the past month started here with the Kellogg Foundation grant. So really, my goal is to work with people like CNMI, employers, job seekers to really kind of leverage the workforce development system in Bernalillo County and make sure it's working for everybody, especially lower income individuals. And I actually had something more off topic on my end to Roxanne. I'm wondering, is Hyperspace solely focused for New Mexico firms, or is it broader than that?
Yeah, we're a national program. So we actually international. We have a German company this year and worked with a Canadian company in the last year. So yes, we work with folks from everywhere, and now universities as well. So this year we are doing kind of a beta test of working with universities, and we're working with Johns Hopkins and New Mexico State.
Okay, great. Are you based in New Mexico though?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Nob Hill. Just to get specific.
Can't you tell? Nob Hill behind me.
Mark, what tips, what things should we know about? I know you just started over there, but is there any tips for us as kind of program liaisons for you that we should be knowing about that we need to help promote to grow Albuquerque?
Well, the main thing with CNMI is we're really looking to just help promote JTA as much as possible. So, I think it's a great program for businesses, we think, as, Allison mentioned, no hard costs. So really this can be, however, it's open to many employers in many different industries. So we're really looking to boost that. It's one of our main initiatives here in the Office of Economic Development, especially in the workforce space. So we're very excited about it and hoping for some, big new cohorts this upcoming year.
Well, we got a big one in digital marketing, so hopefully we'll have some great success stories, and we've got some folks in Activate, and Activate's always been a great collaborator with the Office of Economic Development. So thank you so much for joining the team and helping to grow our economy. We could really use that.
I forgot to mention Activate, and I forgot to mention Supervisor Academy, and both of those are both programs that are going to be ones that people want to look out for. And I imagine we'll add Leadership Academy. I don't know why we wouldn't.
Yeah, we'll have to just get like a one-page slide
I know.
of all the things that JTA
a one-pager.
Yeah. Everybody wants a one-pager. Great.
Everyone
great.
wants a one-pager.
Well, Monica Hernandez said, thank you so much. She had to run, but this was super helpful. And then Dovetail Community Workshops as well. I've always wanted to go down to those and do those, but I've never done them. So we're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up. Tanya, I wanted to say thank you so much as well. I wanted to just give one little piece of advice our CEO once told me that, that I thought was very helpful to give you a little inner workings of CNM Ingenuity, is that if you write up the plan, you usually get 90% of it, right? That's what he always told me. And we can collaborate so much with the city of Albuquerque, with other private corporations. And so if you've got an innovative idea of how to help these individuals that you're talking about transform with your coaching solution, write it up, bring it to Allison. She'll no problem take, half hour to sit down with you and figure out how we could figure out some sort of contract training thing, to help build your brand and also help, expand your offering to a wider audience. Because we really are starting to become a community cornerstone for workforce development. So think about it.
Awesome.
Just think about it. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, if there's any more questions, I'll hang out for a few minutes. Otherwise, you guys rest up. Have a good Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for hosting this, Dan. Thanks, Allison and Roxanne.
Thank